I'm Kate Shirimani, Natural Nurse in the Toxic World, co-founder of the British Nursing Alliance. We're about to do our first inaugural course for nurses, and these are the ones who don't want to take this experimental, untested, unlicensed, uninsured. And you heard Sajid Javid say on the news that he was giving them a stay of execution. Well, about a minute and a half in, he did actually say he was going to be speaking to the regulators. And what that means is the Nursing and Midwifery Council was taken over by the government in 2001, so they're not going to be able to register. And then every year, nurses have to re-register, every 3 years, revalidate. And they're going to make it so that they don't re-register. Now, the devil is always in the detail. In the 2021-22, the NHS Mandate, it tells us what the government have got in store for all the people of the UK. So we know they're putting up our national insurance contributions. So what they state is that they're going to be having 50 million more appointments. So one has to ask, does that mean that as a nation we're going to be 50 million people more sick? Well, every single in this country bar 2 has gone up. With breast cancer for the first time ever went down, but that's because they're not opening all the diagnostic clinics. Now, they also said that they're going to be employing 50,000 more nurses. That doesn't say whether they're on 0 hours contracts, which means they get no holiday pay, no sick pay, and they're actually advertising in West Africa. Now, the other thing they say is they're opening 40 more hospitals. But in that mandate, it states that is their priority, and that other treatments are going to be a lesser degree. So when you think that they state in that document that they're going to be using AI and they're going to also be using genome sequencing, this means that they are going to be doing pre-treatment. They're going to be looking at what your percentage likelihood of being diagnosed with different diseases, because they know that there's a lot more people going to be sick. And the NHS, when it was set up by Henri Beverin, Free Healthcare for All, was to manage if you were sick, to get you well and out the door, or to give you definitive care to a peaceful ending. It was never meant to handle all the degenerative disease, which is most of it. And our NHS, we're told, stay home, protect the NHS. It's the envy of the world. No other country emulates the NHS. It's the sacred cow. We are in the lowest third in the world for performance, for saving you from terminal diseases. We're in the lowest third in the world, and it really does need to be culled. And the British people have got this fear that it's going to be like the American system. It's simply not true. Belgium and Switzerland has the best, and we should really be talking about this. Is not even, this is an industry, the NHS. And you haven't got anyone else coming in and saying we can do this better. So what they're doing is they've got complete ownership of it. The government took over the Nursing and Midwifery Council in 2001, and they're ruling the GMC, and this all needs to be completely scrapped, which is why we've got the British Nursing Alliance. There is no money going into reversing degenerative disease. It's all going in to pump you full of and they want every single person over the age of 40 in this country on 4. You are what you eat. Today's food becomes tomorrow's cells, and no amount of exercise or prescription drugs are an offset for a poor diet. And what do we see? We see all our hospitals in the UK with Dunkin' Donut, McDonald's, Domino's Pizzas, Costa Coffee, all the foods that are going to make you sick. It's a joke. It's an industry. It was the second biggest employer in the world, and I believe they've got 2 members of the Chinese Communist Party on the board. It needs to go. We need to cull that sacred cow. And all of the people don't realise they are paying for it, and we are now being told we've got to pay more for it. And people aren't questioning it. You know, if you're going to buy something, if you're buying a bag of apples, when you get home, you want to see it's a bag of apples. If you get home and it's a bag of spanners, you've not bought what you've been told. Well, they're lying to us through their back teeth. And that's exactly what the NHS is. It's someone's fallen over. An old chap. Just check his... Is he all right? You all right?